Welcome back. I'm have the privilege of speaking with two scientists who are now, we're speaking with them from the Moscow region of Russia, Victoria Popova, who's hi Victoria, who is a Ph.D. and also a Doctor of Scientists and a professor, and Lidia Andrianova, who's a Ph.D.
Hello? Yes.
And Dr. Victoria Popova has over 100 scientific publications and 14 patents. And she is an inventor of NCCHS. And Dr. Lidia Andrianova has over 50 scientific publications and 4 patents. And both of their dissertations were based on research of the Barkhausen effect and its application for non-destructive testing and evaluation of ferromagnetic materials. So welcome to you both.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Nice to see you.
Yes, and we have a very distinguished mutual friend in Russia who is the former Russian cosmonaut Marina Popovich. Yes, Marina sent a special photograph for this interview.
Yes.
She knows that we're having this interview. Could you tell a bit about what Marina's role was in the Russian space program? She was one of the early women in a space, correct?
Right.
Yes. So we welcome Marina to our program. Lidia and Victoria are two extraordinary scientists in that they are also multidimensional and spiritual scientists. In my judgment, in the long tradition of scientists who have also ventured into the multidimensional world, and these include Sir Isaac Newton, Emanuel Swedenborg, and others. For today, what we're going to concentrate on is Victoria and Lidia sharing their work of interpretation of Nostradamus and crop circles. And this is also set out at their website, which is ourtransition.info. That's ourtransition.info.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask some very just basic questions, and you can share about your work and what it means. Coming to the first one, if we look at Nostradamus, an article that you've entitled Nostradamus, the woman with the instructions for the transition, is the direct descendant of King David. And it starts out, it is considered that Nostradamus presented some of his predictions in pictograms or in pictures. Could you begin to talk about that and share with us what your findings have been?
Yes. Nostradamus left many pictures that were unknown, but when we looked through these pictures, we were astonished that all of them were composed with the help of symbols of consciousness. We decoded many pictograms of extraterrestrial civilizations. based on the symbols of consciousness. So from two main symbols, like keys or to dictionary, to decoding of pictograms of extraterrestrial civilization based on symbols of consciousness, were given us from the above. From 2005, the first key was given in 2005, and the second key was given in 2007, in 2006. So, with the help of these two keys, we decoded many hundreds of complexes of extraterrestrial civilizations, and so we composed the dictionary with symbols of extraterrestrial civilization, symbols of consciousness. So now it includes about 300 symbols of consciousness. And so with the help of this dictionary and two keys, you can read and understand pictograms all over the world based on the symbols of consciousness. And among them is Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, the Maui of Easter Islands, the Great Pyramid of Giza and the Sphinx, the Mexican pyramids of the Sun and the Moon, and many other complexes all over the world. And so when we saw for the first time, when we saw the pictures of Nostradamus, we were astonished. They also are made with the help of symbols of consciousness. And so we began to read them. And we decoded over 44 Nostradamus aquarelles, like pictograms. And so they are astonishing. They are connecting with each other by one chain of events. In our understanding, this is about the events about our time. So this is events very close about our time. Yes. And so Nostradamus tells that soon on our planet, when on our planet will begin global cataclysms, so people has to be prepared, and they have to understand that with the level of consciousness that now we have, individual consciousness full of wars and hate, we cannot prolong our life. In order to prolong our life and to have bright future, we have to have a revolution of consciousness, to have to turn over from hate and wars to mutual understanding and love. Just on this very important question points the cross of Saint Peter, inverted cross of Saint Peter. It is for 2,000 years he reminds people all over the earth that people has to overturn their consciousness. And so now we understood that the people who could decode the pictogram of Nostradamus and who could read his thoughts are the direct descendants of the King David. And so Nostradamus gives the date of birth and the year of birth, it is the year of ox, and the period. So this is the date of Victoria's birthday. The direct descent of King David could just decode the pictograms of Nostradamus, because they would be given two keys for the reading all the pictograms, all his pictograms, and the instructions for the transition. So the first key for the decoding is the interpretation of the human being on the information level of the universe. And the second key is the the main law of the united consciousness formation is the action. It's still about that united consciousness of humanity has an action, and with the help of with the action, we can make the transition to the future cycle of life, and also on the safe highest level of the material world. So, according to his predictions, дай мне вот этот текст, дай мне вот этот вот Libre.
Сейчас.
Вот этот, да, вот это вот. Вот мне нужно вот это. Первый текст, вот еще дальше, ниже. Можно я буду мышка водить? Первый вот это ниже.
Да.
So, according to his keys, Nostradamus tells that according to his keys, Nostradamus tells this. Что там говорится? Текст. That the woman who will be given the two keys for the decoding of Nostradamus pictographs will be the direct descent of King David. Why it is so? Because King David made the foundation for the unification of consciousness through his psalms. And that's why Nostradamus told that this woman can be presented with a tiara, you know, it is a crown on the head of the woman, and two keys. So that means that the woman has two keys for the coding of his pictograms. And the tiara and two keys, as it is known, are the symbols of the papacy. So that's why Nostradamus explained that this woman will have a great knowledge, and as it is known, the first key were given to Peter, Apostle Peter, Saint Peter, from Jesus Christ. They were the keys from the heaven, and papacy also make like a chain through which these keys were given from one pope to another, reminding people about very important information, that when it will be a strong cataclysm on the earth, and well, the very hard and severe time, so then humanity will have opportunity to make a transition to the heaven. And so the heaven, in our understanding, is the level of the highest energy. So it is the highest level of the material world, with two gradations, hell and paradise. So on this level, everyone will be responsible for his actions that he made today. So on two pictures, Nostradamus shows Sagittarius. On one picture, Sagittarius is shown with closed eyes, and he is with his arrow pointing on the woman with an arrow. And on the other picture, Sagittarius do not have arrow because he already let it out. So he on the picture he tells, on the first picture, when Sagittarius has a band over his eyes, he's just explaining humanity that this is the woman who will be given the main information for the civilization. And he also gives her date of birth. He shows two symbols under the band of the information tape. These are the ox and the Libra. So that's why Victoria's date of birth is October 7th and the year of birth is 1949. So it is just the ox, the year of ox, and the Libra, it is just the period of Libra. And the most important thing is that we have two keys to decode the information of Nostradamus and two codes to decode the symbols of consciousness, in which are written not only Nostradamus pictograms, but also other complexes. On the other picture, when Nostradamus show the Sagittarius without arrow, is shown that the reason of the first pre-cataclysm, it is like fault of the plates. And he also show the man with a crown, with long hair, and with a book of life. And so this is the King David, who is just presenting to humanity the main principles of relationship between people and with God. On the other picture, Nostradamus, on the picture 91, Nostradamus shows King David, who is sitting above the big band, brown color, and under the wheel of time there is a big crescent of gold color. So he's reading, and he's reading the Psalms, and the crescent of gold color is like a flag of our transition. Above, below the big brown band, under it, are shown three women. The first woman is just under King David, with a red clothes on him, and just through the information tape are shown two women which have communication with each other. It's Victoria, her hair is covered with like a cover, white cover, and it is another woman with brown hair. This is me, Lidia Andrianova. We are speaking with each other. Victoria is given from the above the information. It's shown by the cover, and we're discussing this information because all the information that was given to Victoria from the above, I was writing it down for many years, from 5, and so that's why this information is about transition. That's why my hair are shown like a feathers of the bird. So transition in symbolics of consciousness of extraterrestrial civilization is presented by bird. So it's just like feathers. It's like a flight. So the woman under below the King David is our mother, Zinaida. The fact that she is sitting just directly below King David is shown that she is the direct reincarnation and the only one reincarnation of King David. So a lot of symbols of consciousness here near his head. There is like a banner which composed directly entirely from the symbols of consciousness, and it shows the crescent of the united consciousness, the cell of the united consciousness, and it is shown the principle of the united consciousness formation, and also the extension of the brain area of the cell of information cell at the unification of consciousness of two people. So a lot of symbolics, and also we can speak also about another picture of Nostradamus. That the picture is number 72, the general resurrection. On this picture is shown a big man in blue clothes with a book with absolutely blank pages, and above the below the two information tips are shown the same two women in red clothes. So this is also again Victoria and I. We also at this time we also received the information from the above about the resurrection of humanity, about the general resurrection after the transition. And to meet us comes the deer. And the deer is it is known, it is the symbol of consciousness, it is the symbol of knowledge. And we have also above the man, the man is shown is like a very huge sizes of his body. It means that the sizes of the body on the highest level of material world will be huge, and it will be holographic, it will be without weight. So that's why our bodies will be very big, and our life will begin like from the very beginning. And that's why the book that he has no it is just absolutely, it is clean, absolutely clean. It's just no information. It is absolutely new cycle for us. And here on the top we have also the wheel of time, but it has no spokes, and it has it also the show about the expansion of the brain area and the unification of consciousness of humanity, when all civilization of Earth will unite consciousness, and we will organize the united consciousness of humanity. So in other pictures of Nostradamus are also shown that the sizes of human body will be huge. It is the picture number 30. And so Nostradamus show us two men. The first man is a small size and he is covered with the clothes, and the other man is a huge size and he has a blue, just a very small piece of material that covers him. And it is blue color. It shows that the sizes on the highest level of the material world, which is shown by the blue color, will be huge. And in a very interesting complex of extraterrestrial civilization are shown in Mexico, are shown Atlantis and in Tula. So they have like 4 meters height, and comparing to them, the people are very small. And so also this complex show the highest level of the material, the transition, humanity on the highest level of the material world after the resurrection, that people will be very high. So the man in the clothes, in the big man in the blue clothes, have a cross on his forehead and several crosses. That tells that for the transition to the highest level of the material world, our bodies has to be destroyed on the level of the crystal structures, and only then, with the help of the laser beam, and only then we could make the general resurrection on the highest level of the material world. So in many complexes, in many aquarelles, Nostradamus showed this cross of the body on the level of the crystal structures. And also in other pictures, pictograms of the extraterrestrial civilization in Chichen Itza, and in Peruvian complexes also shown cross. What does it mean, cross? Our bodies on the level of the crystal structures has to be destroyed. So, and then we will have a resurrection on the other level of the material world. So the also, да, конечно, and very interesting information and like provement of the previous pictures is also shown by Nostradamus in picture 25. So Nostradamus show a woman in tiara and with red cover, cloak, and above, in front of her stays the ox on the back feet, on the back leg, and his horns are composed like a crescent, and above him are shown near the woman's head are shown two pictures, two portraits, two kings, like a king and a queen. And so, as we decoded this picture, the woman with the tiara on her head has two keys, because tiara tiara is showing that the man, that the person has the two keys for from the heaven, and the heaven is the highest level of the material world. So this means that for decoding the instructions for the transition on the highest level of the material world, the woman has two keys, and so the tiara on the head of the woman is just like an arrow pointer, showing that this woman, this direct woman, has two keys from heaven for the transition, instructions for the transition on the highest level of the material world. So that's why she has a tiara on her head. And in front of her is staying the ox. The ox is the year of the birth of Victoria. So it is 1949. And so that's why she is staying in front of her and on the back legs. And his horns are in the form of crescent, because the main information that was given about the transition is that we can make the transition to the highest level of the material world in the new cycle of life only through united consciousness, on the base of united consciousness. So that's why he has a horn in the like a crescent, and above near her head are shown two people in the crowns. The first man, he lived long ago. It is King David. It is like the basis. Victoria is the direct descent of King David. So that's why he is shown just near her. And he lived in the long, many thousand years ago. And that's why he has like a piece of color that is like the color of the ground and grass. Is that, yes, and that's why he's like in the ear, he's putting in the ear, he is not covering the earth. So it was long in the past, it is past. And next to King David, it shows a woman. The woman also has a crown, but she do not have color over her neck. It shows that it will be in the future. So it is two pictures. And the color also. So it is the future. It is the direct descent of King David, to whom will be given the keys and the instructions for the transition to humanity. So it is, again, it is the woman in tiara. So it is the same woman. It is the same woman to whom will be given the instructions. But the crown on her head doesn't seem that she will be like a queen. No, she's not queen. She is not a queen. Of course, she's a woman, but she's shown with the crown, because the crown is consists of different symbols of consciousness, and it is the highest level of consciousness of humanity on the earth. So through united consciousness of humanity, we will make the transition, and we will save our life, and we will continue our life. And so in the result of it, she has a crown. So, and this, comparing two pictures, comparing two pictures, we see the ox. So it shows the woman on the picture 25, the woman in tiara and the ox, and the picture 69, the Sagittarius and the woman. So it shows that it is the same woman, and she has no clothes. She's not covered with the clothes, because she is telling about the transition. It is like her mission to tell humanity about the transition.
Нет, Нострадамус говорит, что это голую правду она расскажет.
So it is just, she is telling her,
Нет,
the
Нострадамус.
Nostradamus telling by informing that, showing the woman without any clothes, that she is telling just the truth, the bare truth about the transition, and that's why she is not covered. And Sagittarius is pointing to this woman with an arrow. So this is the woman that will show the humanity the way for the transition through the united consciousness. And we see here the horns, the crescents above the woman, and the ox with the horns also in the form of the crescent. So it's showing that it is the same woman with the same information for the humanity. So in other pictures, as shown, Nostradamus shows that the woman in tiara will be about the keys. So a lot of information Nostradamus devote to the keys from the heaven. For example, in pictures, I can even give in many pictures. If you would like, you can see it in our website in details. He's showing that from the above to the woman are handed two keys from the heaven, like angel is giving them two keys. And then the woman is just holding these two keys and telling that I have it. I have these keys to decode, to read the instructions for the humanity transition. But above these two keys are shown the angel of the apocalypse, and he's trampling in the tube, and he has a long feather in his for writing
Instruction.
for writing the instructions, like a in order to write the instructions. And so that's why he's telling that all the instructions will be given to humanity in the written form. They will be not only just presented to humanity, but they will be presented in the written form and in very, very big details. So the sun that is located near the woman, not only on this picture, but also on many other pictures of Nostradamus, showed that sun will be one of the big reasons of the beginning on cataclysms on the our planet, because the changing processes on the sun will show will begin the cataclysm on our planet. And on other picture, it's shown the serpent, and above the serpent is shown a white dove. And again, the woman with in tiara, she has a big feather for writing and a flag for the transition, in which are shown the two keys. So this picture, as if tell us that two keys are the flag. So the woman received the instructions from the above, then she wrote it down in the book that is just under her left hand, and then the people can make this transition according to, and the keys are, and very important information is also showing that the woman in tiara will be appear to humanity together with the beginning of global cataclysms. This is shown in many pictures of Nostradamus, and not only pictures of Nostradamus, in another also pictograms. The body of the woman is like grows together, is confused with the body of the serpent. So it shows that not only that they will be together simultaneously with the revealing to humanity the information about the transition and the information about the reasons of global cataclysms and the instructions for the transition. Also will be given the cataclysm will begin. So, можно покажу?
Нет, это ничего не меряет.
Нет, так, можно скажу? Можно мне ручку взять? So, Nostradamus show in some pictures that emergence of the woman with the real keys signifies the beginning of the cataclysms. And he also tells that the woman with the tiara will be protected from the above. Why? Because this information about the transition and about the unification of consciousness will be not too good, will be not too pleasant for many people who have the private property of the world, who have like the private property on the basis, and they do not want to unite consciousness for the transition. And so that's why she will be attacked. She could be attacked from different people. But Nostradamus showed that this information is so important for humanity, is like for continuation of life. Without this information, humanity will be destroyed in global cataclysm. Because this is absolutely new knowledge about the possibility of human consciousness. And that's why this woman will be protected by the hand of the above. And that's why, the head of the woman or of the man who attacks the woman will be stopped with the hand of the above. This knowledge that we are given from the above about the consciousness has unbelievable novelty. It shows that humanity consciousness has an action. So when all people of the earth together simultaneously with one goal unite consciousness, so then arises an action, and the action arises according to their goal. And so this action can lift in the air, it can make telekinesis, and it can do a lot of phenomena of consciousness. So we cannot explain this phenomena, and so we just tell that it is impossible. Just it is only some people have these like possibilities. But this is the law. This is the law in the whole universe, that united consciousness of people forms an action, causes an action, and so action is arises according to their goal. Now today humanity has to be informed about the replacement of the keys. 2,000 years ago, the keys were given to Apostle Peter, and they were the keys from the heaven. 2 keys, and now so they were belonging to the papacy, and humanity during many hundreds of years, about 2,000 of years, many generations of people knew that that very severe time and very severe moment, humanity has the possibility for salvation, the kingdom of heaven, where it can live and where it can prolong life. But now, at the eve of the global cataclysm, humanity received from the above the real keys for the transition. They are telling with the help of these 2 keys, humanity can read the instructions for the transition. And so, with the help of our consciousness, united consciousness, we can make the transition, and we can prolong our life. And so that's why now everyone has to understand, has to be informed about the replacement of the keys. The symbolic keys from the kingdom of heaven were replaced on the real key to read the instructions for humanity's transition to the safe level of the material world in order to prolong our life. So this is important information, and Nostradamus, that's why, showed the keys in many pictures. She's showing it in the symbols of consciousness. She show the two keys. The first key is the presentation of the human being on the internet, on the information level of the universe, and the second key, which contains three crescents of the united consciousness, tell about the main law of the transition, the law of the action of the united consciousness for the transition. And so Nostradamus and many pictures, on two pictures, just show that humanity has to stop the wars, the hate for the transition, because for the transition, our hands has to be like we have to shake our hands, not to have something to kill each other, have to have hate in our heart, but we have made a handshake and love in our heart. And so I can tell you these two pictures is the peak of wars, we call them the peak of the wars, and the handshakes of the transition. And so the number 4 and number 27. This is very interesting pictures that also in symbols of consciousness show the keyholes and show the three hands from both sides of the construction. And so they show that the other picture shows our real life, that people are like having wars all the time. They have peaks above them because they are struggling for the private property. But for the transition, private property does not count. The transition will not affect private property. We have to shake our hands. We have to have like a one united consciousness, and only one goal, the salvation of our life for the future, for our transition. And so also we made a very interesting discovering of tiara. Tiara can also be presented in symbols in consciousness. 3 levels of the tiara show 3 previous levels of consciousness that included in each information cell of human being. So the consciousness of human being has the 4th level. So the first 3 levels are the level of consciousness of inorganic nature of planets, stars and planets, organic nature of planets, and the 4th level is belong to humanity. The 5th level belongs. So the 5th level is absolutely another level of consciousness because it has an action. So that's why on tiara is shown 3 previous levels of consciousness, so showing the individual consciousness of each human being. But on the other hand, it shows also the principle of the united consciousness formation. And so it shows the main goal of our civilization, unification of consciousness for prolongation of life. And also we presented mitra in symbols of consciousness. It is the oval of dematerialization and the transition. It is the main symbol for the transition. So very interesting information. And the trumpeting angel of the apocalypse, the picture 27, that is interested to many researchers, and so we recorded it step by step in very, very big details. And so we show in details what does it mean, the lions. For example, very interesting information about the lions. The woman has the lions near her feet. One lion is sitting independently and he has only 1 rose. So it shows the individual consciousness of humanity, like 1. And another lion has like 3 roses, and it shows 3 previous levels of consciousness that include the consciousness of each humanity, and so that's why he's just hiding. He's dependent. He's hiding from the woman's clothes. And so we also showed that the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd level of consciousness Nostradamus reveals as like small buttons and the big flower And very important information is showing on the platform. On the platform, Nostradamus, through three openings, we can see the level of the water. On the first opening, we see that it is like even less than a half. On the second opening, we see that it is over than half. The water just is over than a half. And the third opening is completely, entirely covered with the water. So by this pictogram, Nostradamus is telling that the global cataclysms will cover the earth and preliminary cataclysm will be in front of them. So after the first preliminary cataclysm, part of our planet will be covered with not only flooded, but also it will be impossible, but only tsunami, big waves and everything, it will also be impossible to live on part of our planet, or one part of our planet. And so then the second pre-cataclysm will come, and the planet will be covered a lot by huge, will be huge covered with the tsunami, with different disasters. And so it will be impossible even for humanity to live, because only a small piece of territory will be remained for human being. So this is the period of time is the most important between the first preliminary cataclysm and the second preliminary cataclysm is the most important way for humanity to make the transition. So it will be very severe conditions for life, because Nostradamus telling about that people will be living without clothing mouths, because the consequences and unpredictable will come. So it means that radiation is unpredictable phenomenon at this time when lived Nostradamus. So after the first pre-cataclysm, many atom stations will be destroyed, and level of radiation on our planet will be very high, and people will be the environment will be changed, and they will not be available to eat the same food like we are eating now. And that's why our mouth, the people's mouth will be closed, as Nostradamus told. And unpredictable phenomena is like radiation. And so the second pre-cataclysm will cover a lot of territories, and many people will die, will be destroyed, and humanity will not be able to start up the mechanism of the transition. So that's why Nostradamus is explaining that humanity has to make the transition to the kingdom of heaven before the second cataclysm. That's why he put the woman just near the second opening. The third pre-cataclysm, before it. So that's just before we have to make the transition, before the second pre-cataclysm. And the third opening, is covered completely with the water. So it shows that the third pre-cataclysm will be the strongest, will be the severe, and so humanity will be no more able to live on our planet, and so it will be destroyed completely. And that's why the angel is telling us humanity from the above are already given two keys for reading the instructions for the transition. Please be aware, please make the transition before the second pre-cataclysm. You have the keys, you have the instructions, you have everything, just it is your decision. Make the transition, or else you will be destroyed. So we decided, while explanation and decoding of this pictogram, we wanted to put Marina with her husband, where they are like fishing. They are fishing at winter fishing, and we're putting symbolics of consciousness together with her. So we also put some pictures of Marina. She's a famous pilot, and she has 102 world records, and she is put in the world book of Genesis, and so she is very famous not only in our country, and but also all over the world. And so she's the big friend, and we of our family, and we wrote together with her several books, and so she's coming to us very often to our home stays, and we were coming to her home. We're staying in Звездный in Moscow, like the city where lives all cosmonauts and astronauts. So Nostradamus also shows the sun, like the reason of the beginning of global cataclysm on Earth, and he shows two types of rays on the sun. One type of rays is like a wavy. It reminds for us the body of the serpent. So the serpent, as we told, is the symbol of cataclysm, of global cataclysm. So that's why it has the wavy body. And the other type of the rays is shown like triangles, like straight lines. It reminds for us like the blades of the sword. And in the symbolic of consciousness, the blades of sword means the laser beam. Laser beam will form humanity by the united consciousness for the transition to destroy our body from the level of crystal structures. So the sun, from one hand, shows like warn about the transition, about the beginning of global cataclysm. On the other hand, it shows the way for continuation of life. And so we very interesting also decoding the information. The picture 44, on this picture are shown three women, and three women has three different colors of dresses. One woman is shown with blue dress, another with red dress, and another with brown dress and with long yellow cover. So in this picture are shown three women. The first woman with the blue dress showing the transition to this safe highest level of the material world. That's why she has her dresses has blue color. She's telling us about the level of the highest level of the material world. So she's showing us the highest level that is shown by Nostradamus by the blue color. Another woman is in red color. She is telling us about the transition, information about the transition, and she has tiara on her head. So this woman is telling us, it is the same woman with turquoise and the tiara. She's telling that the transition humanity can make only through the two keys, and keys are given through the above, from the above, to read the instructions for the transition. And the other woman in the brown dress, she is showing us the level of the crystal structures. It is the earth, the level where we live now. It is the level of crystal structures. And she's in bed. She's like in sorrow. She has very sad face because humanity has to leave this level. And above her head is like a nymph. It shows that humanity has to form the oval of dematerialization and then transition in order to put it. And so the woman with the brown is shown. Her sack is white, has white color. It shows that we have to organize our body will be holographic. It shows that on the other level, on the level of the highest level of the material world, our bodies will be holographic. And woman in the blue dress has a long sleeve, like end of the dress is a little bit longer, so it shows that the cycle of consciousness on the highest level of the material world very, very long. So also very interesting information in the picture 82. The three women are shown. One woman is in blue, another is in green, and another is in pink. So the woman in blue, she's pregnant. And in green, woman is also pregnant. So these two women are showing two levels. One woman of the material world. So the woman in blue, yes. So on one level, we are living now. So it is our level. it is level of our life, level of crystal structures we live now. So that's why the woman is pregnant with us. But she has information about the transition. So this is the woman with the highest level, with the blue dress, is showing the other highest level of the material world. So she is like pregnant with humanity who will live on this other level. And the woman is pink is information for the transition. It is like ripe. It is ripe for the transition. It is not red. Red woman is red is showing the transition, but it is not red. It is pink. It is just growing to be transition. It is ripened. So many scientists, many researchers are interested in picture 11, the way to the transition. It showed the woman in tiara again. She's riding a horse, and another individual woman in black, in dark dress is staying alone. So, and it is on the yes, on the background is shown a house, like in dark colors. So it shows also the woman in tiara and is leaving the level of the crystal structures, where soon will be begin severe time with global cataclysm. And she showed the way for humanity for the transition. So that's why the woman in staying alone, showing that it is individual consciousness. And so humanity has to go from individual consciousness to united, and the way is showing the woman. So very interesting picture 38. This word of the transition expresses the number of the beast. So it is shown the woman in tiara, and her body is grown together with the body of the serpent. It tells that the woman with tiara, the woman with two keys for the transition, will appear together with global cataclysms. And global cataclysm beginning with the first preliminary cataclysm, and the woman with the sword just expel the beast. What does it mean? The number of the beast 666 that is given us from the Bible, from Revelation. It shows that we decoded this number, and it shows 666 show it consists of three numbers for 6. So number 6 show the carbon, is the number in the periodical table of Mendeleev. It is a big table of the elements, of chemical elements of the universe, and each element has its own number. And it shows that human life has the basic life has the carbon. Carbon is the base of our life. So this is number 6. So this is 6. But we has 3 now. The number of the beast consists of 3 times. It is repeated 3 times. So 666. It means that individual consciousness of human being, each of us includes 3 previous levels of consciousness. A consciousness of inorganic nature of stars, inorganic nature of planets, and organic nature of planets. So it includes 3 previous levels of consciousness. And each of this level has the carbon base. So that's why it has 666, number of the beast. And so the number of the beast warned humanity about very thick border of our individual cells. And it reveals in the wars and hate, of lack of understanding, mutual love, capacity. And so that's why humanity cannot make the transition to the highest level of the material world. We have to overcome our nature. We have to understand that all of us have the common fate, that global cataclysm will destroy every one of us. And if we will be living as now we live individually with our values of private property, so that means that all humanity will be destroyed one by one. But if we understand that only together we can win, only through our united consciousness we can make the transition, so then we will overcome the number of the beast 666. About this number warns the revelation about this number warns the Holy Scriptures, and they tell humanity, be aware, please overcome your nature, because you have very strong individual consciousness, and just your consciousness has to be based on the main principle, love the neighbor, love your neighbor as yourself. It is the main principle, the golden principle, the global of relationship between people. So we have to organize the laser beam for the transition. We have to make the homogeneous resonant structure of our consciousness, and only it will be strength. It will amplify the laser beam that will rise different people with higher consciousness. So Nostradamus tells that in our transition, will take part two groups of people. One group of people, like ordinary people, they have like medium, like level of consciousness. They have a medium level, medium action, power of action of the united consciousness, average. And so all people of Earth have simultaneously to organize homogeneous structure of consciousness, homogeneous resonance structure with one goal, because we would like on the base of love, compassion to each other, civil understanding. And other group of people, these people devote their life to prayers. They have very high action of the united consciousness, so they can arise the laser beam. And so the laser beam, but it will be very, very weak, because not a lot of people, not too many people on our planet has such high action, high action of the united consciousness. And so humanity, by the forming homogeneous resonance structure, will to amplify this laser beam, and so then it will be organized to be formed one big, huge laser beam that will destroy our bodies from the level of crystal structures, and then simultaneously the general resurrection will come, the highest level of the material world, where all people will be without their injuries, without any diseases, and their bodies will be holographic and very high. And so this big laser beam, very strong and huge laser beam, shows the Hachicalca complex in Peru. So we can see it at the zenith of the sun, and it's so strong. And so by this laser beam, humanity will make the transition. So about the necessity of overcoming our individual consciousness with hate and force, tells the Saint Peter, because he wished to be crucified, his head upside down. And so this inverted cross of Saint Peter just reminds humanity about the revolution of consciousness, that in order to make the transition, humanity has to overturn consciousness from hate and war to mutual understanding and love. So on the picture 12, humanity in Nostradamus in big details show two women in tiara. One woman has the keys, and on the keys is sitting a bird, the symbol of the transition. And in another head, under her is sitting under the key is sitting another woman, also in tiara, but her body is grows together with the body of the serpent. And on the picture, on another picture, not of Nostradamus, is shown it is more detailedly. So it shows that the woman with the keys and the information about the transition and the instructions for the transition will appear simultaneously with the global cataclysm, with the first preliminary cataclysm. Another picture of Nostradamus. First of all, I wanted to tell, I forgot to tell from the beginning, that Nostradamus has many pictures. about 70, over 70 pictures. But in his aquarels, he just highlight the eight pictures with wheel of time. On one of them, the wheel of time is showed just in the middle of the picture, and on other 7 pictures are shown, the wheel of the time is shown on the top. And so the wheel of the time shows the way to humanity, to the highest level of the material world, the way for salvation. And it is wheel of time consists directly. It consists of symbols of consciousness. It consists of ovals. The spokes show the ovals of dematerialization of transition. The number 8 shows that 4 pairs of people. And so it has digital and analog symbolic, shows the way of humanity to the highest level of the material world to make the transition to continue for continuation of life. And so on the other hand, in the symbols of consciousness of extraterrestrial civilizations has complexes with also very interesting effect, sun effect, with the effect of sunbeam. And these complexes are situated all over the world, and the sun effect appears for time, it appears in winter and spring, and winter and summer solstice, and in spring and autumn equinoxes. And also it has the effect on the winter solstice, yes. And among these complexes, of course, is Stonehenge, of course, is Chichen Itza, and a lot of Peruvian complexes has such effect. So, but this extraterrestrial civilization just pointed humanity on the deeds, on very important deeds. So, in our life. So, the date of the winter solstice on the 21st of December show on the end of consciousness, cycle of consciousness of humanity. So, as it is known, Mayan calendarium Maya ended on the 21st of December 2012. So it shows that by this date, the cycle of consciousness of humanity just ended. And other date is the summer solstice, 21st of June. On this date, Stonehenge just shows his effect, and a lot of people all over the world comes to see this effect, and it shows that on this date will happen the first preliminary cataclysm on the period. So the 22nd, it will be prior. He showed the period prior, the period of first cataclysm. The second, so we are showing it in many complexes of extraterrestrial civilization are shown.
Расскажи о том, как будет этот
эквиноксис, надо сказать, что So very interesting information. Nostradamus, and the second pre-cataclysm will be, and the third pre-cataclysm will be in the autumn and spring equinoxes. So it shows also different complexes with effect of sunbeam. A very interesting picture, 70, warning of red cancer from the Greenland. So this picture consists entirely from the symbols of consciousness. It has in the central figure of this picture is a big red cancer, and it shows that in the period of the cancer by zodiac from the 22nd of June till the 22nd of July, this period will happen the event, the catastrophe, and the water will be coming from the heart of the earth with a very high temperature, and that's why the cancer is boiled. So that's why he's red, and she is like attacking the cell of the united consciousness. But the cell of the united consciousness, it's shown is shown in green color, so it is like alive, people alive, but it is broken. Only half of it is shown. Another half is disappeared. So it shows that a lot of people will be destroyed by the preliminary cataclysm. So the cancer attack our cell. It shows that humanity will be attacked by the catastrophe.
Could I
so,
because we're going to a second article here.
Yes.
Could I ask some questions as to the first part that we went through? Okay. First of all, thank you very much for this work and for sharing that, number one. Now, for example, I did a series of interviews with a person who had communication with what he called was an intergalactic council, which he had interdimensional communications with. And in the 90s, he was taken up into their ships, up into their spaceships. And he was taken to different time periods, back to the 1930s. And they're called the Andromeda Council. Okay? And what they said, some parts of what you said is very similar. For example, they said that humanity is now transitioning to the fifth dimension, in which they will be very tall, and they'll move out of the carbon base into the crystalline base. Okay? So it's exactly what you're saying. Okay? Okay. Now, the difference that they said is that the advanced extraterrestrials will be working to cushion and eliminate the destructive effects of the cataclysms, so that humanity will make the transition without the cataclysm. In the analogy that they used is that this is planet Earth giving birth, and it's birthing to a new Earth, but that these civilizations have advanced technologies that will eliminate or reduce the effects of the cataclysm, so we won't have the mass die-off. And humanity then will go into the crystalline structures. Maybe you want to have some time to consult with each other, but could you comment on this so that we actually shift to a different timeline. We don't have the cataclysms because the extraterrestrials are intervening, but we do go into the crystalline structure, away from the carbon-based structure, and into much taller human beings and much longer lifespan 10,000 years, 15,000 years. Okay.
Nostradamus telling a little bit another given other information. He has another point of view on this topic. He tells that humanity will have to overcome very strong catastrophe. The cataclysm will happen, because he's showing the divergence of tectonic plates. He shows that it will be a big fault of tectonic plates, and the fishes are dead. Fishes are dead, and he's showing the red boiled cancer who was boiled. Just this, he highlights the high temperature processes that will accompany of this cataclysm. And really, if the catastrophe will happen and the breakage, the fault of place will happen, so it will be beneath this surface is located the upper part of magma of Earth with the temperature 1200 degree of Celsius. So, as a result of which, the cancer is shown by the boiled, the red color of cancer, and the fish are shown also dead. They are floating upside down, and so it is very difficult to make the transition. Nostradamus is pointing that in order to go to the other level of the material world, to the highest level, which humanity has consciously to unite consciousness and to overcome its nature, and only then we have to create the homogeneous resonance structure. It is very difficult. He tells that it will be a lot of trainings. It will be not easy, not from once and that's all. No, we will have to have a lot of trainings of homogeneous resonance structure. And he also tells about the radiation that will happen after, like, consequences of the catastrophe, that people live with their mouth closed.
Right. Now, why is it that at this time there would be cataclysms? Would it be HARP? Would this be caused by HARP? Or what is the mechanism of the cataclysms? Because now it does not appear, other than HARP, would it be Planet X? Would it be HARP? What is the mechanism?
So Nostradamus tells that it will be all of a sudden. And he also points the sun as one of the reasons of the beginning of this preliminary cataclysm.
Because the sun.
Yes. Scientists now pay attention of people that right now sun is very calm now. So right now it is a lot of cycles are together, maximum like 24 cycles sun. But right now, sun is like in the winter, and so like it is winter of sun, and so it has not too many spots, and so the temperature of the planet, because of the sun, will be lowered, and the temperature of sun is also lowered. And so scientists tell that at this period of such periods of like sun winter, a lot of floods at this time, a lot of eruptions of the volcans, a lot of catastrophes. So they tell that it could be because these periods of such sun winter appeared already on the earth. And Nostradamus tells that after the finish of end of Mayan calendar, December 21st, 2012, three pre-cataclysm will come during 1 year. So the first, the second, and the third preliminary cataclysm will come during 1 year.
So about 1 year after. So one of the mechanisms that is postulated for a sudden cataclysm would be that that we have a second sun, or Planet X, that comes inside the solar system around the orbit of Mars, and there's such a magnetic attraction between the two suns, and the second sun is coming at an angle to the ecliptic, so it can't be seen, and the magnetism between the two suns causes our sun to go into large-scale solar flares and solar storms, and that solar flare would then come to our Earth and would cause a shift in the Earth's axis. And in fact, there's been a large-scale shift in the axis of the Earth. It's migrated a large scale within the last several months. So that would be a possible mechanism
Yes.
for
Yes.
what they're saying. At the same time, we have seen large extraterrestrial ships around the sun. And so we have postulated that these ships are putting up shields so that the Earth would be protected. And two scientists, colleague scientists, two scientists, a colleague of mine, Klaus Donner and Nassim Haramein, have taken Mayan artifacts that were released in 2012 by the Mexican government, showing in ancient times, this is pre, that these artifacts showed spaceships coming out of the sun that would put up shields for the sun. And so shields between the Earth and the sun. So it's happened before in the past.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying that the extraterrestrials, because they are sort of our parents, they know that we are very
Yes.
young.
Yeah. Yes.
And they would know that we would not survive because on this planet, there's a satanic elite. There's an evil elite. So it's very difficult to get unity consciousness, which is what you say.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's why they're trying to get to a positive timeline, because even though Nostradamus predicted this,
Yes.
there's a different scenario happened because the extraterrestrials are intervening. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
In other words, it's a fluid situation.
Yes.
What is your comment?
Nostradamus tells very simply about the reasons of the catastrophe. He tells, in our understanding, he's speaking about the Greenland. Right now, according to, because of the fault of plates, North American and Eurasian, it will be a big fault between these two plates. Last year, as it is known, in Greenland melted in 4 days, from June 8 to June 12. Greenland melted on 97%. It melted just in 4 days, and so the model of Jarvin, of Russian scientist Jarvin, tells that the ice of Greenland has a very big weight, and so when it was melted, so the plate lifted up, and so that's why there was formed a breakage. So in this breakage came. Maybe this is just the beginning of the catastrophe. And because Nostradamus just tells about the divergence, he's telling about the fault of plates, and maybe this is the cause. This is so in our understanding, during 4 days, the Greenland couldn't be melted in 4 days, because if the sun will be the reason of this melting of ice, so it is impossible. Something has to be inside. It has to be the fault of plates, and so then the heat from the upper part of magma of Earth with the temperature of 1200 degrees of Celsius, just going up, going through, and just arose such a great effect of melting of ice in 4 days. So right now maybe it is not too big, but it could be.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah.
Now I have two more questions. Is that okay?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So there are two main things here. One is the cataclysm. The other is the going into the crystalline structures, going into the new holographic reality, the new 4D, 5D. You're very tall. You have 10,000 year, 15,000 year lifespans. It's great.
Yes.
Okay. Why is it that there's so much emphasis on the cataclysm and not much description on that new state? Is it that you've just chosen to focus on the cataclysm rather than focus on that, on the new, or do you want to do some analysis on what the new state is like, or what? Could you tell me more about that?
Нет, ты скажи, что это самое, что у него именно почему обращается внимание на катаклизм, что это произойдет совершенно внезапно. Поэтому человечество будет не подготовлено.
Nostradamus
человечество не предупредит, то не будет подготовлено.
Nostradamus is paying attention so much in many of his pictures on this cataclysm, on the reasons of this cataclysm, because he's explaining that cataclysm, catastrophe will come all of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden. And if humanity will not be prepared for it, will not be aware, will not be warned about the beginning of happening of such a great catastrophe, when many people will be destroyed, and a lot of consequences will be. Humanity has to not only be prepared that it will happen, but also the most important, that humanity has to understand what to do in such conditions. So at this time will be broken a lot of violation of interconnection, internet, phones, electricity, and so humanity will lose a lot of friends and relatives, and it will be all of a sudden, and we will have only a few months before the beginning of the second pre-cataclysm. It will be more stronger, it will be more severe, and so humanity has to understand in details what to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, the instructions, what to do in order to come to the highest level of the material world for immortality and prolongation of life. So that's why it will be all of a sudden. So.
Yeah. Now, what is very interesting is that I get information from various different parts, and some sources who have been in contact with benevolent extraterrestrials, you could call them angels, are saying that a great shift will happen in 2015. Have you heard anything about 2015?
No, we have just the information is upcoming to Victoria from 1995. From 1995, and especially for this purpose, in order to receive correctly this information, we were transformed from Russia to United States, to New York, which is located just near the ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and just near the Atlantic Ocean. Victoria was, we are Bermuda-треугольникis, and Victoria was receiving information at night from 10 o'clock in the evening, like to 2 o'clock 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And so the same information that Victoria was receiving from the above for many, many years, from 1995, we just, when we saw with the keys, with everything, with instructions for the transition, we were astonished when we saw the when we saw the pictures of Nostradamus. He just repeats one by one the same information that was given Victoria from the above from 1995. So it's astonishing.
Yeah.
So I think that
But do you think that you have seen this, which could give a general picture, but there could be variations in the specific dates about timelines and the specific nature of cataclysm versus transition, i.e., this is just one person's. Some people say that Nostradamus had invented an early chronovisor, which was like a time travel machine for looking into the future. And that's just one person. And that what he saw was you know, he was an early scientist who invented a chronovisor. So he was able to look into the future. And at the same time, it was not a complete future that he saw. I mean, here we're on June 10th today, and and June, according to the largest number of U.S. military trained remote viewers were brought together under the Farsight Institute, my colleague Dr. Courtney Brown, in 2010, and they all said that in June 2010 we would have a global coastal event where all cities throughout the world would be destroyed. And we're on June 10th.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Nothing happened. So that's why people say, you know, so I want to operate as a scientist to say, this is hypothesis. You see, this is hypothesis, and then you test hypothesis, and you can test various aspects of the hypothesis, but it makes it a much more useful tool if you look at Nostradamus as a scientist who invented a chronovisor with his crystal ball and his gases and everything. So he was able to see into the future, but it's not completely exact. And because in the multiverse and in the time-space hologram, there are multiple timelines. And you can shift timelines, we know. So I'm just offering that if we go through and we're in July, you know, and we're in October and nothing happens, it doesn't mean that your hypothesis is wrong. It just means that we have to adjust because we have to operate through the scientific method. Do you have any comment on that?
Скажи, что мы выступаем не как ученые, а мы выступаем как только...
No, we are just telling our information not like a scientist, but from the like decoding of Nostradamus.
Decoding Nostradamus. Okay, good. Yeah. Thank you.
Decoding Nostradamus. No, he doesn't tell the dates, exact dates. He doesn't tell the years. He just shows the codes.
The decoding. Okay, good.
He just shows the fault of plates. And he shows the period of Cancer by zodiac from 22 of June to 20th of July.
Okay.
So but he doesn't tell the year.
That doesn't tell the year. Okay, good.
Tell the year.
Now, I have a final question, and it's this. What's very unusual about this and very striking for me was that as scientists, you have the decoded this and made scientific discoveries, but you're also, as part of the hypothesis, saying that you've discovered yourselves in it. Correct?
Вы там себя нашли.
Да,
Yes, yes, we were
Yes,
surprised.
yes.
Absolutely.
And that is a common error that has happened over the years with people doing spiritual work, because it's people begin to identify with memes. They say, "Oh, I'm the prophesied. I am the prophet."
Yes, yes.
So how do you correct for that, for this phenomenon, that it is possible to project onto any, it is possible to postulate on any situation and find similarities? In other words, your beloved mother, I agree, looks like the statue of David in Florence, which I have seen. I spent many hours in front of the statue of David in Florence. And I agree, your beloved mother, she's very handsome, she's a beautiful woman. But that, to go from that and what you're saying is a reincarnation lineage, that is by saying that David was a reincarnation, was reincarnated as your mother, so that will fulfill it. So from what I know about the rules of reincarnation, having studied them through scientists like Dr. Ian Stevenson of the University of Virginia Medical School, it's a science that we're just beginning to understand. And I'm wondering, as scientists, how you correct for the possibility that you overinterpreted at the personal level. I'm not saying decoding of Nostradamus. That's fine. I'm saying overinterpreting with regard to the two women and all of that.
The interpretation came only on the base of the keys.
Of the keys.
Only from the base of the keys. From 1995, Victoria was given the information from the above, and then also from the above were given the keys.
Right.
2 keys. Just they are the main symbols for decoding of all the symbolics of consciousness. On the base of these symbolics, we compose the dictionary. And on the base that now includes, we decoded not only Nostradamus. Nostradamus was just at last, we decoded them just recently. But we, from many years, we were decoding one complex after another, many hundreds of complexes all over the world. And so we presented them on our website, www.ourtransition.org. And so it is complexes of Giza, complexes of Machu Picchu, Mexican pyramids of the moon and the sun. And so we understood that the basis of all the aquarelles of Nostradamus is just 2 keys. And we see that the keys of Nostradamus, he's presenting them all over. And he's also presenting the woman in tiara with the keys. The main symbols of papacy is tiara and keys. So the woman in tiara is like an arrow. That this woman has a key, and we understood that only we have the keys. Nobody else has the keys to read the instructions around the world, to read the instructions for the transition. So that's why we understood that this information is about us. And so if the cataclysm will happen in the period of June and July, just in the period Cancer of Zodiac. So then it will be it will prove that that Nostradamus just told the right date of the.
Yeah, of it. Oh, okay. Could you repeat what the two keys are? I don't quite yet haven't grasped it.
The first key is the presentation of human being on the information level of consciousness. So it is like a circle and three circles round. It is the circle. It is you can see it on our. If you want to see it in details, you can see it on our website. I can even you just tell you what it is. I think number two, the article number 2.
Okay.
And so we will even give вторая страничка. Нет, вот он. Викочка, ты пошла вниз. Сычка, ты куда идешь?
Yeah, we can. We'll go ahead.
Two keys for ATC pictograms decoding. You can see it, the analog key of information cell. So it shows the big like ring, and just the circle inside show the brain area of information of human, a small brain area of human being. So it is like a body arrow and a border which separate one person from the another. So, and in the human consciousness enters 3 previous levels of consciousness, inorganic and organic nature of stars and nature. So this is the first key. And the second key is the main law for the transition, the law of the united consciousness action. So it shows by the, it tells about the unification of consciousness, about the result. If humanity will unite consciousness with a common goal, then we will cause an action. And so it will have the it will be rearrangements, the rearrangements on the information level of the universe. These rearrangements in the information level of the universe, while our unification of consciousness will reveals in the material world like an action. So this action just appears suddenly, all of a sudden. It can lift in the air. It can hit to the ground. It can make like telekinesis. So we tell this action like phenomena because people cannot explain this. So nothing is made, but all of a sudden the human is like making levitation. Nothing is done, and Nedelь Kulagina is making telekinesis with the a lot. Yes. So. So a lot of people are using the water for searching the water, even consciousness for searching the water. So all of them are phenomena of consciousness. And so this is the second law, the second key that has the woman with tiara in her hand.
So I see. Thank you. This has been an extraordinary tour de force and introduction, and I want to thank you both for your work and for participating. And what we'd like to do is to present this to our viewers, which we will do, and then as things develop over time, come back for follow-up interviews with more detail so that we can go into this more in depth, because we only got through the first article today.
Thank you very much.
Very good. Are there any are there any thoughts that you would like to leave our viewers with?
So we would like to explain that our big work, the main purpose from our big work, day and night work from 1995 till today, is just to warn humanity that in very future will come the first preliminary cataclysm. Then will be the second and the third. They will be all around 1 year. We don't know exact the date, but it will happen in 1 year. And humanity has to be prepared. And it has known what we have to do in order to continue our life. And we also would like to ask you to see our website www.ourtransition.4, and it tells all this information in details.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your interview. Thank you very much for your question, for time, for everything.
Thank you so much. We're very happy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.